Kristen here with Holmes Agro, and we have one of our key seed partners here with us today, Carrie McLean with Pride Seeds.
Thanks so much, Kirsten. I'm really excited to be here today and have this opportunity to do this virtual farm tour for anyone who's not able to come to our in-person live tour today. A little bit about myself. I've been working with Pride since December. I grew up on a mixed farm southwest of London, and I've had a wonderful season this year, getting to know the Pride commercial lineup, as well as had a lot of excitement around some of the new upcoming products that I'm seeing in my trials this year as well.
Yeah, so we're excited to go over some of the key hybrids that are in our plot. We were just discussing how 4939 is a pretty common variety grown in this area, and we're really excited with this 4646, fairly new, and we're excited to hear more about it.
A4646G2 is relatively new in our lineup. It is an exciting early maturing hybrid, so we're looking in that 2300 CHU range with great early maturity and really high yield potential and excellent plant health. You see these plants have great stay-green potential. It tends to be a point drier than 4939, and it has the potential to out-yield it when it's managed properly. So if you are a farmer who is willing to put some time, energy, and good management into A4646G2, it will reward you.
So a little bit more about the management. Where would this variety be best suited? Soil type, you mentioned good management. Is this a high end user? What are some management tools that we need for placement for this variety?
So for this hybrid, yes, you do want to put it probably on your more productive land, your nice loamy soils, and you do need to feed it well. It is one that has great in-season plant health. So it has that working for you. But that being said, if you give the nitrogen to it, is when it is going to be happiest, and that's when you can see us really top.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay, here we are standing in front of A4939G2. So this is a hybrid that I'm sure many farmers in the area are familiar with and seen before. It does have a beautiful showy ear on it. This hybrid has wonderful pop in the spring and has really quick vigor. It fills in the rows really nice early in the springtime for maximum light capture. It is one that you can use and abuse a little bit. It'll take the rough times along with the good times and is very, very consistent, which is, I think, a big part of the reason why it has been successful for the Holmes Agro team and their farmer partners. So again, I guess if there was one little watch out with 4939, it can be a little bit slow to dry down, but it is one you don't need to worry about putting it on your tougher ground, or if you're out planting early into cooler soils, because you can have confidence that it is going to pop out of the ground and work hard for you.
Yeah, as Carrie said, it's a variety that we know well. We're confident using it. It is a showy plant. It's not hard to walk in and find some nice ears on this variety. So happy to have this one still in our lineup. It's still a really key variety for us here.
So now we're standing in front of A5225G2. So we're now in the 2550 CHU range, so gone up a little bit higher. This hybrid is very distinctive because of its ears. You see they're good and shanky. They kind of hang out here with the power lines overhead. There's definitely, you can see where some birds have landed and been doing a little feeding, but really showy ears on these plants. Good yield potential. The plant does tend to be a little bit shorter, so most of the time it's positioned for grain purposes, but great plant health here. This is another one that has great early spring pop, so no worries about putting it in the ground early in the spring when soils are still a little bit cool. It will come out and work for you. It is very distinctive and has a decent following in the area.
So would you say with these ears, like you talk about them being big showy ears, is this a flex variety? Is that why we're seeing that, or are you going to get the same result in a fixed type situation as well?
I would consider these a semi-flex. So you will see them growing in girth if their populations are a little on the low side. You don't get extreme differences, but you will see that they will compensate in population situations. That being said, I would kind of target a moderate to moderate high planting population for the 5225. I guess to ladder off of that as well, for anyone who's tuning in who's interested in conventional corn, we do offer these genetics in a conventional version. It's called A5222. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to stop in at Holmes Agro, pick up a seed guide, and ask more questions about the extensive conventional lineup. All right, here we are standing in front of A5383G8. So the one thing that I think is really important to mention here is that it is a G8 hybrid, meaning it gives you that good above and below ground insect protection. So for anyone who's looking at doing corn on corn situations, you're probably looking for that G8. So as far as finding a good high yield potential, early maturity range with above and below ground insect protection, look no farther than 5383. And what makes this corn so distinctive is that when you crack open an ear, you look and you see these bright red kernels. So we call that the candy corn in our lineup because it is quite distinctive. Those kernels can get quite hard. They'll get a full dent on them, which will help them dry down, and they lay down really, really dense starch, meaning they have a really good test rate. We seem to get back results of really excellent grain quality and high test rates with this product.
So do you want to talk more, because this is our earliest G8, some of our growers may not be too familiar with the trait package that is. If you want to go into that a little bit for us.
Sure. So basically in the Pride lineup, you've noticed so far we've seen G2s, which are your standard, your above ground protection only. Whereas when you move into the G8s, that's when you're really stepping up in your above and below ground insect protection. You will see in years to come more Gs coming down the pipeline, and it's kind of already started down in the south where we are seeing products that have the added gene, the paragene, in order to give them protection against western bean cutworm, which I think is going to be on the radar pretty well across the province. Even going into this plot here, we're seeing western bean cutworm damage for sure. So we're really looking forward to adding to that platform. And we are really looking ahead to the future and doing lots of trialing with new different traits, putting it in our germplasms and just kind of seeing what will fit. So you are seeing that primarily further south, but definitely exciting times.
Yeah, for sure. Just another thing I want to touch on for our viewers with the 5383. We were just discussing, looking here, we're at about half milk line, and it is September 16th. And so this would be definitely, given the heat units that we've been accumulating this year, for this area at our Orangeville research location, this is definitely pushing it for heat units. So still, we got a bit of a frost last night. We made it to dent, but it is definitely a consideration when you're looking probably more to the south for this variety.
Now we're here, we've kind of moved up. We're looking at A5404G2. So this is a 2625 CA2 range hybrid. And this one can be a real racehorse hybrid. You'll see looking at it, it's kind of a short stature plant. Doesn't get overly tall, so we're really gearing it towards the grain market. And it is a hungry product. It does like to be fed well, and it does like a little bit of extra management. You'll definitely be rewarded if you decide to use a fungicide on 5404 in season, but it definitely has wonderful yield potential to it. So it is new for this year. We're looking at plot data from last year when it was in experimental trials, where it had a wonderful year. Again, it's probably positioned a little bit out of its ideal zone here in Orangeville because it's getting a little bit higher maturity rating. But overall, we are seeing great success with 5404, and we're happy to be going forward with it into 2021.
Yeah, as Carrie said, definitely a variety. It says in our seed guide that for it to be highly managed, is that the word?
It likes management.
Likes management. So in going through this plot here, we can pull out some years where there's been some kernels aborted, some firing off a little bit higher up in the canopy compared to our other varieties. So just something to consider. Definitely, as Carrie said, if I look at this plot, it is definitely one of the shorter varieties. So definitely, as Carrie said, it's definitely a grain variety and probably a little later for our plot.
But top end yield potential on 5404.
And that's why we have it in our plot, because we really want you guys to see and know for our southern growers that this is a good variety to look at.
And to finish off the corn segment of today's virtual plot tour, I'm standing now in front of A5432G2. Now, if you kind of do a scan over the plot, you notice we've taken a big step up in height. So this is a hybrid that is positioned for dual purpose. You can grow for grain corn or else use it for silage. And I think the silage route is probably most popular for our customers at Holmes Agro. So it's a good, tall, sturdy plant. It has wonderful pop-up and spring vigor. So you don't need to worry about using it on no-till acres, for example, or getting in and getting it planted nice and early. Overall, good ears on these. They're considered semi-flex ears. Also, if you're looking deeper into the plot canopy, you will see the amazing leaf structure on these plants. The lower leaves are very pendulum style, very wide, great for filling in rows early and capturing lots of sunlight. And then near the upper part of the plant, you're seeing a little bit more vertical leaves as well, allowing more sunlight penetration down into the canopy. So overall, very effective hybrid for either silage or grain purposes. All right, now let's move on to the soybean portion of our virtual plot tour today. I'm currently standing in front of a really new, exciting soybean product that we're launching for 2021. The sign next to me says experimental. However, this product can be found in our seed guide called PS0420 XRN. So I'm sure many people in this area have grown the 0416s for many years. It has been a staple for the Pride Seeds brand and done really well for many farmers in the territory. However, I am excited here to be standing in front of these 0420s, which are in the same maturity group. However, what we're seeing with them is better tolerance to white mold, which we're really excited to talk about. I'm seeing in plots this year that the standability on the 0420s, especially in situations where the populations are really high, I'm seeing better standability, better tolerance to white mold in the 0420s, as well as they offer that extend system, so another option for controlling Roundup resistant weeds. Also, they are an extend bean, which allows us another option for controlling Roundup resistant weeds. And in addition to that, they have soybean cyst nematode resistance as well. So, very excited to be launching these new beans. Come out, take a look at them in the plot, and keep an eye on our Pride Seed website this fall, as yield data will be posted from our plots as they are harvested. We're now standing in front of 0077XRN. So, when we're looking at the naming of Pride soybeans, I just want to point out a couple of things. The first two digits of the name are telling you the maturity group that they are fall into. This X signifies that this is an extend product. R stands for Roundup, and the N is your soybean cyst nematode protection. So this is the earliest product that you're going to find currently in the lineup that has the N, soybean cyst nematode resistance, which is becoming more and more of a talking point in this area, as the SCN tends to be kind of your silent field robber. Now, what's so exciting about the 0077s is their incredible adaptability and toughness in harsh conditions. They do get nice and tall, so you can put them on heavier ground and still expect those lower pods be up off the ground. Taking a look at the plants here, you're seeing that they are ripening really, really quickly compared to what you're seeing in the rest of the trial today. So if you're looking for a good, sturdy, adaptable, early season soybean, look no further than 0077. Now we're at PS0098XR. So another ultra early bean option from the Pride lineup. You'll notice here these beans are a little bit shorter, so you do tend to want to keep them off your heavy dirts, more targeted towards your loam and sand soils. What you'll notice walking through this trial is fairly short internodes, meaning that these plants are chock full of pods. They really do have high-end yield potential, especially for this ultra-early soybean category. So a very good staple from Pride. I'm also experimenting some more ultra-early soybeans this year that look great in plots. So more to come on the ultra-early soybeans from Pride. We're looking at some products that have a little bit more height to them, so it might be a little bit more adaptable for your heavier ground. To finish off the tour today, we're going to be taking a look at PS0229XRN, so a little bit longer maturity range. These plants do tend to be on the shorter side as well, so high-end yield potential, but you're going to want to keep them on your loamy soils. In this situation here, they are on 30-inch rows. I probably prefer them on a little bit narrower row than that, so that they can really fill in the row spacing a little bit better. Overall, very loaded with pods. What you'll notice with this product is it has great defensive agronomics. It has that SCN protection, good protection against Phytophthora and white mold. So another excellent product in that early maturing group from Pride.